Namaste. Thank you so much for being here today. Take a moment, allow your eyes to softly close. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Open and close your mouth. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down once more. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale, sigh out through your mouth like you're fogging a window. Do this 2 more times. Then inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides and overhead. Exhale, gather the hands at the heart center. Cultivating an intention for your practice, something that you would like to honor, to commit to. Stay connected. And then slowly bow your head towards your heart in honor of that commitment. Bringing your gaze back forward. We have 2 blankets here today. You'll open one of them to the long side. And then go ahead and roll that blanket on the long side. And then place the other blanket at the top of your mat. That'll be like a little pillow for you, making a T with those blankets. You'll bring your sacrum right up to the edge of that blanket. The sacrum is the big flat bone at the base of your spine. You'll lie down on the blanket. You should feel that your spine is fully supported. You can keep your knees bent. Let your neck and shoulders to be relaxed. The knees can fall towards one another. Feel free to stay here or extend those legs if you want a little bit more. If you straighten your legs and it feels like too much, go ahead and bend the knees. Let them rest there. We'll be here for a few moments. Begin to use your inhale to reach out to the sides and overhead, trying some snow angel type movements with the arms. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And find a comfortable space where you would like to allow your arms to rest. You feel that chest opening and expanding. Use your Ujjayi breath, that's the victorious breath or the chest breath, to let the ribs expand and widen with the inhale, and with the exhale, the whole body softens and surrenders. With that Ujjayi breath, you create an audible sound, like the sound of the ocean. So enjoy that. Letting go, surrendering a little bit more with each breath. Whenever you are ready, no rush, you'll go ahead and roll off to one side. Take a moment here. And then slide that blanket out from behind you. You can leave the blanket for your head if you like, if that felt more comfortable for you. If it does not, please move that blanket. Hug your right knee in, leaving the sole of the left foot on the mat. Try to keep that sacrum planted firmly on the earth. That again is the big flat bone at the base of your spine. There's a soft space between your low back and the earth. Imagine that femur bone softening up into the socket, and then see if you can lift the left heel. If you want more, you can extend that left leg, letting it hover over the mat about 6 inches or so. Draw a few circles with the left leg, trying to keep those hips nice and still. So we don't want a lot of movement in the hips. It's more like the bone just kind of circulating in the socket. Make sure to take the circles in both directions. Hug both knees in towards the heart. Rock gently from side to side. And then lower the right foot to the earth. Hug that left knee. Feel that softening in the hip thigh crease. Begin to lift the right leg, keeping the neutral spine. And if you want a little bit more, you can straighten that leg, let it hover off the mat. Try not to let the hips move. Try to keep them nice and steady. So as you try to straighten your leg, if you feel like your hips kind of tilt like you saw a moment ago, go ahead and bend it back. You can draw those circles whether that leg is bent or straight. Wherever you are, your goal is to keep the hips nice and still. Taking the circles in both directions. Hug both knees in towards your heart one more time. Bring your hands to the tops of your knees. Keep those knees together and draw a few circles as if you were imprinting the sacrum on the mat, giving all of those muscular attachments a little massage. Take the circles in the opposite direction. And slowly lowering the feet to the mat. You'll place your hands alongside the hips. Go ahead and move that blanket out from beneath your head. And then bring the hands back to the hip. Some pelvic curls. Exhale. You'll tuck the tailbone, press the low back into the mat. Just slightly rounding that back, focusing on bringing pubic bone to navel. If you want to bring your hands up to your belly to feel that curl, you can do that. And with the inhale, extend. So exhale, you're pressing your low back into the mat, tucking that tailbone. And then inhale, release. It's a really subtle movement, but you do feel that tailbone tilt and curl, just slightly lifting an inch or so off the mat. And the space between the low back and the mat disappears with that exhale, and with the inhale, it returns. Another couple of rounds here. Letting that go. Hug your knees in towards your chest once more. And take your hands behind your thighs and begin to rock and roll. And this may just be a small movement. You might be able to make it a little bit bigger and even rock all the way up to sitting. Find your way. Yeah. Up to a seat, whether you rock there or not. And we'll make our way to our hands and knees. If your knees are sensitive, please take one of those blankets and place it under your knees. Mine are sensitive, so I always use a blanket. We'll begin with some cat-cow. So as you exhale, round the back, tuck the tailbone, gaze between the thighs. And with the inhale, tailbone releases, heart opens, collarbone widens. Exhale, pubic bone to navel, really lift. Feel between each of those vertebrae. And then inhale, open the heart. Exhale. And inhale, release. Really feel those collarbones widen, separate, the lat muscles turn on the back side of the body. Stay with this. You can begin to draw some circles with the head, with the hips. Just kind of begin to feel into your body. Notice all of those little nooks and crannies and the spaces that may need a little more love here today. Enjoying the bhava, or the sensation in the movement. There's not a right or wrong here, just a feeling, and it feels good. Slowly let those hips rock back over the heels for child's pose. If you have really sensitive knees and child's pose does not work for you, try curling the blanket, giving the ankles a little more support, and then taking a second blanket and placing it between the calves and the thighs, then bringing a block out for it so that you're still able to place your forehead against something. If you try this, it doesn't work for you, you don't like it, then we're not married to it. You can always make your way all the way down onto the mat and find a pranam. This is another great alternative to child's pose for people that have sensitive knees, have had knee surgeries, or just, don't like sitting on their knees. The idea is to find a resting pose that works for you and for your body, gives you a chance to return to the breath, and to reconnect to those intentions or commitments that you set out to honor right here, right now, today. Everyone slowly makes their way back up to hands and knees. You're going to place your blocks on either side of your mat. They go at many heights, so choose the height that works right for you. And then bring your right foot forward. If you're not able to just step that foot forward, come on up and just find your way into a lunge. You can even use that block to help you with the transition. Again, if your knees are sensitive, use that blanket underneath your knee. And then inhale, slowly rock those hips forward like you're pushing your tailbone towards the ground. And exhale, rock back. It's getting a little bit of movement in the hips. Not going to the deepest place yet, but trying to really press the hips forward as you rock. And as you rock back, you're wanting to try to straighten that leg as much as you can. Using the inhale to rock forward and the exhale to rock back. You can stay here or bring both hands up to the thigh, pressing your hands into that thigh like you're lifting your belly up off of your leg. Staying there or reaching your arms up and overhead. Imagine as if you were reaching up and over a ball. Be careful not to sink into the low back, but to lift those ribs up off the hips to create space between each of the vertebrae. Exhale, hands come back down. Slowly find your way back to all fours. Whatever pathway works for you, sliding the block back or moving your hand is perfect. You're going to change sides, bringing that left foot forward. Inhale, rocking forward. Try to let your knee track over the ankle so it's not really passing the toes of the instep. As you exhale, rock back, keep the hip over the knee. Hips sink and melt forward, but that knee doesn't go farther than the toes. And as you exhale, rock back, those hips stay right over the knee. Enjoy this simple movement with breath, inhaling and exhaling. This time, slowly use that inhale to rock forward, staying here or bringing the hands up to the thigh, pressing with those hands, lifting that belly up off the leg. If you place your hands on your thigh and it causes you to curl in, bring the hands back down. We really want to feel an expansion, a lift, an opening here, not a crunch. And then you have the option to reach the arms up and overhead. Think about lifting those ribs up off of the hips. Tailbone is still reaching downward as the arms are reaching up. Not really back, it's really up and over. You're reaching over a big ball. With your exhale, your hands come back down. Finding your way back to your knees. You're going to take a shoulder stretch here, so you'll place those blocks out in front of you. They can be on the tall side or on the shorter side. Bringing your elbows or really almost the triceps onto the blocks, just a little higher than that elbow. And try to sink down, let your head bow so you can feel into the triceps, the back of the arm. Hands are together in Anjali Mudra, or prayer hands. If this does not work for you, you can take puppy dog pose. That would just be without the blocks and the arms on the ground. Enjoy your breath. Slowly making your way back up. Side and flop. The sides. Bring yourself all the way down onto your belly. Reach your toes back behind you. Go ahead and let your arms relax on the earth. One cheek turns to rest on the mat. Feel your belly pressing into the earth with the inhale and softening and releasing with the exhale. Bring your forehead back to the mat. Push those toes way back behind you. Keep a neutral rotation in the legs and it turned in or out. Forehead comes to the earth. Press your pubic bone into the mat. Tuck the tailbone. And use your inhale to roll the shoulders up, back, and down, lifting the head and chest. With the exhale, lift those legs, lift the chest a little higher. And then try turning the palms down towards the mat. And inhale, lift that chest a little higher. If you want a little more, you can reach the arms back towards those heels. If you try this and it takes you to a shallower place, please come back to your deepest variation. Exhale, melt back down, turning the opposite cheek to the earth. Enjoy the breath, the belly pressing into the earth, that gentle massage. Slowly bring your forehead back to the earth. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lifting up for cobra pose. Slide the shoulders away from the ears. Feel those collarbones widening and opening. We practiced earlier in the cat-cow. And exhale, slowly pressing back to your child's pose. Inhale, rocking forward, something between a cobra and an up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Little hip hinges here, rocking forward and backward. This time, come on up. Go ahead and roll over, coming back onto your spine. Keep the soles of your feet planted on the mat. Cross right ankle over left knee. You can press your right hand into your right thigh. If that's not enough for you, go ahead and thread that hand through. Reach the other hand around the back side of the left leg. Try to relax your head and shoulders on the mat rather than letting it lift up. Feel the tailbone reaching away from the crown of the head. You can always press that right elbow into the right thigh if you want a little bit more. Lower your foot, uncross the legs, and change sides. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. First, try just pressing with that left hand to open the hip. If that's not enough for you, you want more. Thread the left arm through the hole, right arm reaches up and around. Again, you don't want that head and chin tucked up. You want to be able to soften and relax the head and shoulders on the mat. Feel the tailbone reaching away from the crown of your head, spine lengthening. Lying in a neutral position on the mat. So there's a space between the neck and the earth and between the lower back and the earth. The sacrum, thoracic area or that rib area, and the back of the head are resting firmly on the mat. You can press that left elbow into the thigh to open the hip a little more deeply. Go ahead and lower your foot, uncross the legs. That left foot come onto the mat, hug the right knee, and then bring left arm to the top or the outside of the right leg, right arm to T position, rolling across the body. Turning your head away from your knee. If you want a little support for that hip, you can always place a block underneath the knee or the calf. Think about reaching the right hip away from the right shoulder, feeling the length of the spine here, even in this twisted position. Imagine that you're twisting from the inside out, squeezing everything out. And slowly unwind. Hug your knee and then you can let it roll out to the side, sliding down. Exhale to hug the left knee. This time, right arm comes to the outside of the left knee. If you like that block on the other side, go ahead and bring it over. Left arm comes to T position and roll across the body. The block's just for support. If you want a deeper twist and that block allows, just move the block on out of the way. Let yourself relax here. Once more, left hip is reaching away from the left shoulder. It's twisting as if you're wringing out a rag, just squeezing out anything that might still be clinging or holding on. Slowly unwind, let that leg roll out to the side and slide back down to the mat. We'll bend both knees. We'll place the block between your thighs here, so you're squeezing that block. Plant the hands, take your inhale. If you remember, exhale, tucking the tailbone like you did at the beginning. Continue rolling up the spine. Inhale to reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Slowly, arms come back. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Slowly lift those hips one vertebrae at a time. Spine rolls up. Arms float up and overhead with an inhale. Exhale, slowly rolling from the top down. Then the arms come down last. Inhaling here. Exhale, tuck that tailbone. Slowly rolling up. Inhale, the arms reach up and overhead, extending fingers away from the knees. Exhale, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Arms float down last. Take the block out from between your thighs. Place it underneath the hips at any height that feels right for you. So be right under that sacrum, and make sure that you feel fully supported, and let your hands rest on the earth, palms face up. If you want a little more, you can straighten those legs. If you still want more, raise the block so that it's on a higher level. Make sure that it's nice and sturdy wherever you choose. If you feel like that is too much, then go ahead and bring the block back down to its previous height. Find a place where you can relax and enjoy a deep abdominal breath, letting the belly expand and inflate like a big balloon, and soften and surrender with the exhale. You can take your hands onto your belly if you want to feel this action, and make sure that you're really using that breath to stretch the body from the inside out. This is a pretty deep psoas stretch, so you can come out at any time. When you are ready, you'll bring your feet back down. Press those feet into the earth, lift the hips so that you can slide that block out. Exhale, slowly lower down. Hug your knees. Slowly find your way to happy baby. You could take your hands to your shins, to the backs of the legs. If it's available to you, then go ahead and either bring your peace fingers around your big toe or your hands to the outside edges of your feet. When you find that position, imagine drawing the knees up towards the armpits and reaching tailbone away from the crown of the head, feeling the length of the spine on the earth. Let that go slowly. Let everything melt and find a complete surrender here in Shavasana. Taking a deep inhale through your nose Exhale, sighing out like you're fogging a window once more. Give yourself permission to rest for a few moments. The way of experience begins with the breath, such as the breath you are breathing now, awakening into luminous reality may dawn in the momentary throb between any two breaths. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. You feel that pranic energy flowing through your body. Use your inhale to reach the arms up and overhead, imagining that you're waking up first thing. And then exhale, hug your knees in towards your heart. When you're ready, roll off to one side and rest here for a moment. Use your hands to find a comfortable seat. Feel your sit bones on the earth and inhale to reach the arms out to the side and overhead. Exhale, hands come back to the heart. Namaste.